Protectors of the Grid. Chapter 44. 4 hours later, it didn't seem so perfect. The air felt stale, and Tara was stiff and sore from the tension of concentrating. She rubbed her eyes and leaned back in the chair to put her bare feet on the corner of the desk. As she leaned back, thinking, she rolled her neck to ease the kinks. Tara had started the easy way, searching the email history for anything China or Chinese, but with no luck. A knock sounded softly on the door, and Patty's freckled face and bright green glasses appeared in the opening. "Tara, can I show you something?" Tara's feet hit the floor and she sat up straight. "Did you find something?" "I think so. Maybe. Look here." "What is it?" Patty put some papers on the desk in front of Tara and pointed. "Look." Tara followed her pointing finger to the place on the form labeled Place of Birth. "This says South Korea. That's odd, but we're looking for a connection to China. Who is this?" She flipped the page to look at the name on the form, then frowned. "Leonard? Is this the engineer we met? The engineer who works in the lab with Charlie?" Patty nodded. "He's got the hots for Georgia in accounting. They went out a few times before she started going steady with Rod." What does that have to do with—" "Just wait." Patty held up a hand with nails painted the same green as her glasses. "Georgia says he was born in South Korea because his mother fled there. She had been teaching ESL in Beijing when the Chinese started rounding up dissenters, and all foreigners were suspect, so she took a vacation to Seoul. When she went into labor early, she went to a Korean hospital, but it was so full there wasn't a bed anywhere. An American doc visiting there noticed her. I guess she was pretty upset, yelling in English because she couldn't speak Korean. He loaded her into a jeep and took her to a barracks where some of the MASH personnel on leave were staying during Randar. They weren't set up for patients, but at least they were medical personnel. She gave birth in the barracks. Tara wasn't sure what to make of this new information. Then what happened? I guess she and the baby got shipped back to the U.S. on the next military transport. The story as Leonard was growing up was that she wasn't allowed to go back to Beijing because things had gotten really ugly, but there was another child she had left with a couple who taught at the school. Another child. That would be Leonard's sister. I think Georgia had the impression she was about 4 years old at the time. Anything about the father? Patty shook her head. Not sure. Don't know if the little girl had the same father as Leonard, or even who Leonard's father was. He doesn't look Chinese at all. He's tall and his eyes are perfectly round and blue. But he told Georgia that once she was back in the U.S., his mother contacted her friends at the school and learned they had been rounded up on suspicion of espionage. She couldn't find out what happened to the little girl. Sad story. I wonder if his mother is still alive and whether they ever found his sister. Patty shook her head and shrugged. Is Leonard in today? No, actually. He called in sick yesterday. Sounded awful. No one's heard from him today, as far as I know. He was sick Monday? Patty nodded. Is Ben in his office? No, he's in the lab talking to Charlie and that other guy. Okay. Tara stood up and stretched. I need a break anyway. Patty turned to leave and Tara sat back down to enter one more search criteria. She typed in Korea and hit enter. The string of emails that came up made her eyes widen and her heart beat faster. She leaned forward, her eyes scanning the words on the screen in front of her. She reached for her legal pad and scribbled some notes, then jumped up to run down the hall. She caught herself, went back to the desk, closed the emails, and powered off the computer, then hurried out, slamming the door behind her.